Hello, I'm Linda, and welcome to No Frills ASMR. That was my Darth Vader impersonation. I found a collection of Star Wars magazines and things that are actually from when the original Star Wars trilogy came out around that time. So I just thought we could kind of rummage through the pile. This isn't for real Star Wars aficionados because I did love Star Wars when I was a kid, but I saw the new Star Wars movies, but I'm not a person who knows a ton about any of it. So just take it at that. It's just sort of some stuff I thought we could look through. It might be fun. But I thought first maybe we'll start for people who haven't seen Star Wars, don't really know much about Star Wars. I thought we could just go through the basics of Star Wars. And so I got my handy dandy cards and I really wrote these up in a hurry. So just forgive the, forgive that the Death Star looks like a cookie with one chocolate chip. But that's the way it is. So the Star Wars is basically a story of good versus evil. Not basically, that's what Star Wars is. It's a story of good versus evil. And in the original Star Wars movie, well, I guess in all of them really, you have the good is the Rebel Alliance and the evil is the Galactic Empire, which includes Darth Vader. And the Rebel Alliance in the first movies, the Galactic Empire has created the Death Star, and the Death Star is going to take out the universe. I forget. I don't know if they're taking over or going to blow up. I don't remember. But the Rebel Alliance, which includes Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia and Harrison Ford's character, whose name's slipping my mind, but we'll see it in here. I know I'm not a good fan. Anyway, they are trying to blow up the Death Star. And Luke gets a hold of the plans for the Death Star. I think R2-D2 has them in his memory. R2-D2 is a robot. And they go and try to blow up the Death Star. So that's kind of the gist of the thing. And there's a thing called the Force. And anyone who's a Jedi can have powers of the Force. But some Jedis kind of go evil and some are good, but it always has to be equal, good and evil. You can't have either one have more power. All right, so the first Star Wars movie that ever came out, the original Star Wars, was just called Star Wars. And on the title credits, it said Star Wars. And I remember very vividly standing in my carpeted kitchen growing up in Royal Oak, Michigan. And I would have been about 7 years old. And my mom said, we need to go see the movie Star Wars. And I was like, I don't want it, sound stupid. And I was like being I don't know what, I didn't know what it was. And it sounded like something I didn't want to see. And I said, what's it about? And I remember her looking at me and going, I know as much as you do. But we went and saw it, and it was like life-changing because it was so awesome and amazing to see it. And her whole family loved it. And I think I ended up seeing it probably 6 times during that year. I just loved it. And me seeing it however many times I saw it was nothing compared to like my friend John must have seen it 25 times that summer. I mean, he was the biggest Star Wars fan. And my brother, I think. But anyway, so that was called, it ended up being called A New Hope because after it came out, George Lucas was like, oh, okay, we're going to make more of these. So he ended up calling it A New Hope. And I mean, maybe I always planned that. I don't know. But I heard that he changed the reel that goes at the beginning to say A New Hope later. And some people don't like it that he changed that. But anyway, so in 1977, A New Hope comes out. In 1980, Empire Strikes Back. And in 1983, Return of the Jedi. Empire Strikes Back is equally as good as A New Hope. Return of the Jedi has little Ewoks in it, and they run around in this like redwood forest, and it's a little silly, but it's pretty silly. I don't know. I loved them though. I love them all. That came out in 1983. Now, after this point, I still love Star Wars because it was like, I loved it. And when they said they were going to release The Phantom Menace, I was so excited to see this movie. I can't even tell you how excited. And I think for that reason, and because like I had a son who was born in 1999, and so I got the video VHS tape of it, and we watched it a lot. I do love this movie. I know a lot of people hate it. There's Jar Jar Binks, there's a pod race, but I thought the pod race was awesome. I loved it. I love this movie. I think it's good for kids. And then came Attack of the Clones. And I'll be honest, I don't remember this one. No, I think I didn't like this one very much because the clones were too easy to shoot down. And it was just like there'd be a ton of them, but they just and take them all out. Revenge of the Sith, I was real excited about because I think this is the one that has a guy named Darth Maul, and he had like a red and black mask. And I was so excited to see that guy, but he ended up getting killed pretty easily, I think. He wasn't as scary as I wanted him to be. And then came The Force Awakens. This is a pretty good movie. I don't remember. I saw this one once, but I know I liked it. It's got Adam Driver in it. Yeah, it's good. And then The Last Jedi. Luke Skywalker shows up again. I don't really remember much about it. And The Rise of Skywalker. So these came out in like these first ones were the center three of the series. These ones were these three. These three came out later, but were actually pre these. And then these came out most recently, and they're the end of the series. So he did them in sets of three. So it was the three middle ones, the three previous, and then the three later. And I even wrote Roman numerals on them, even though I messed them up. But anyway, so that's just a basic little bit of Star Wars. But we're really only going to probably talk about these three in these books because this is probably all from before 1983. All right, let's see what we got. So this is the Star Wars record album. I think everybody had this record album. It's really good. The music's like really cool, and you could sit and look at all these pictures while you listen to it. And there's Darth Vader and the stormtroopers. They're so scary, man. They're scary. I remember one time when my boys were little, we went to Disney World, and whatever the park is, what is it, Universal, I guess, and it was like Star Wars Day, and all the stormtroopers were standing up when you walked in the gate, and they were like pointing their guns. I think they had guns, and they were like yelling at you and stuff. It was so cool. My kids were like freaking out. They loved it. That's Princess Leia and 3CPO. And these guys, I can't remember, they're called sand people, I forget, but yeah. And there's R2-D2. And that's Chewbacca. He's awesome. And Luke Skywalker, and why am I forgetting his name? Oh my gosh, you guys. Hold on. Harrison Ford was... See, that's when I have memory issues like that. I start to wonder about myself. It'll come to me. And there's Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's awesome. He's so awesome. Do they show Yoda? They don't even show Yoda. Did Yoda not show up in the first Wait, was Yoda in the... Well, I can't remember. It's been so many years. All right. Here's Time Magazine from 1980. Man of the Year. He wasn't really. The Empire Strikes Back, which came out in 1980, so it would have been brand new. Let's see what they show. I was looking through this earlier. Look at this, West Point, and they're talking about how they have a couple of females in the class. And it says here, a middle-aged man approaches the table, 3 stars glittering on his tan army jacket. One of the women, a captain in the cadet brigade, turns to greet him. After a brief exchange, the lieutenant general bends forward and kisses her affectionately on the cheek. Conversation at the table halts. After a moment, a male cadet sneers, I bet you've never seen a general kissing an officer before, have you? The kissed cadet is the daughter of one of the general's old army friends. I'm sorry, you still probably shouldn't kiss her in front of all the guys who are there. She's trying to... that bugs me. Okay. 1980. Take your picture while you're washing the car. Looks like, I think it looks like Stephen Colbert or somebody, doesn't it? Let's see, where is Darth Vader? Cigarette ads were everywhere. I guess I could have looked in the index. Table of contents. There, look. John Travolta. HBO people, don't miss out. This was like the beginning of HBO. I mean, 1980. That would have to be early for HBO. I wonder what year. French fries. Yummy. The lowest tar cigarette ever. You never hear about tar in cigarettes anymore. Did they take it out? I don't know. Johnny Carson. I still love Johnny Carson. Okay, guys, where is he? Where's Darth Vader? Here we go. Okay. The Empire Strikes Back, and so does George Lucas in the second of his Star Wars epics. There's Yoda. So Yoda is a Jedi Master, and he's like 800 years old. And he trains Luke Skywalker. And that's pretty awesome. And he's actually like a Muppet. I think he's one of Jim Henson's Muppets. And it's so cool, his little ears move and stuff. And there he is. There's Chewbacca. All right. Oh my gosh, you guys, Han Solo. I just saw it. Wow. How come I couldn't even... There's even a whole movie just about Solo. And I couldn't think of his name. And that's the Millennium. No, they're in the Millennium Falcon. Maybe that's it. No, I don't know what that is. There's Millennium Falcon right there. Darth Vader. Oh, yeah. I used to know the name of these. My boys had toys. They're called like R2A2s or something. And here is Han Solo gets like frozen in there was a name for it, I can't remember. It says Han Solo frozen suspension. Yeah. Solo being put into carbon freezing chamber. Oh, it's good. It's real good. And there's George Lucas and director Irvin Kershner. Oh, I would have thought Lucas directed. Huh. Shows what I know. Okay. Well, so there we go. What is this? The Empire Strikes It Rich for Moviedom. Old Star Wars hands C-3PO and R2-D2 return in the sequel The Empire Strikes Back. Lucas, not knowing whether the concept would make enough money to encourage a series, chose the one episode he felt most comfortable with, and that was number 4, the first leg of the middle trilogy. Since a possible one-time movie with the title Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, would look pretty silly, not to mention confusing, Lucas shortened it to Star Wars. Okay, it's interesting. But moviegoers said, "Go on, George, give us some more," by spending more than $500 million at the box office. Yeah, they did. Special effects. I remember like watching 60 Minutes and they would show them doing all the special effects, and they had like models and they'd just move them like one little bit and take a frame and one little bit and take a frame. It was awesome. And that's what I think encouraged all of us kids to start making little movies, you know. And I remember being over at my friend aforementioned John, who saw it a million times. He had all the action figures, and he had a huge pine tree in his yard, and we'd all get under that pine tree and pretend like we were on like Tatooine or wherever. Oh, it was fun. And the Empire still cost more than twice the $10.5 million that went into the first episode 3 years ago. So they spent a lot more money on that. From a galaxy far, far away. Hey, the gang's all here. There's Han Solo. So cute. Flying Solo is Flying Solo is only way to go. With the first Star Wars film, lots of people went back because they wanted to repeat the experience. With this one, they'll come back because there's so much information. It makes more demands of the audience, said Harrison Ford. What is this? Empire brings back Galaxy Gang. Luke Skywalker rides a Tauntaun in The Empire Strikes Back. Oh, that makes me remember what happened. So they're on this freezing cold place, and he's gonna freeze, and so he has to cut this guy open and get inside him to stay warm. I remember that. C-3PO and Han Solo are reunited in the Star Wars sequel. Yoda, an amazing work of hydraulic art created by Frank Oz, the man behind Miss Piggy, has been teaching Jedi Knights for over 800 years. Well, I'm glad I had that information right. And though he doesn't consider Luke a good candidate, he starts him on a rigorous physical and mental training program on the uses of the Force. Yes, he does. This one. Like, get it open. The Force is still with us. Lando Calrissian. He was awesome. Billy D. Williams as Lando Calrissian. Heroes have more fun. Yoda, the Jedi Master. They're not talking enough about Darth Vader, because Darth Vader was voiced by James Earl Jones. But another guy was in the costume, but he did the voice. And he's the most terrifying bad guy. He's so scary. And he can do this thing where he can choke hold you from, using the Force. He doesn't have to touch you. And you can't really see his face. He's so creepy. But he's also kind of funny and dark. And I like him. David Prowse is a 6'7", 240-pound actor who once held the British heavyweight weightlifting championship. 4 years ago, his size made him a perfect candidate for 2 offbeat roles in Lucas's Star Wars. George had a chat with me and said there were 2 characters in the film and I could have my choice. He described one of them as a sort of gorilla with hair all over his body named Chewbacca. I didn't fancy that much. What's the other part, George? I asked him. He said the other one's going to be the biggest villain in the world. His name is Darth Vader. Fine, I'll be the villain, I said. The rest is show business. Yeah, he's awesome. Prowse's performance in the first 2 Star Wars episodes must rank among the oddest acting arrangements in screen history. His face is never seen, nor is his voice ever heard. After Lucas cast him for the part, he realized it would be difficult to simulate the sort of menacing evil he wanted with Prowse's English accent. So he hired James Earl Jones to dub in the voice. The voice doesn't make much difference anyway, Prowse says, since he never knows what his character will actually end up saying in the final cut. Near the end of The Empire Strikes Back, Darth Vader reveals some shocking news to Luke Skywalker. Prowse said he didn't even know what that was until he saw the film for the first time 2 weeks ago. Wow. That's wild. Ugh, yeah. I remember looking at the newspaper and seeing this, and it was going to come back, and you were just like seeing if there was a theater near you that was going to play it. It was just so exciting. Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Billy D. Williams, Anthony Daniels. Cut it out a few times. Let's see what else was going on. Exclusive. One Way at a Time. Bruce Lee, A Fistful of Dragons. Wild Humor, Sitting Ducks. Summer of Laura. Every man should have had a teacher. Summer of Laura is what it's all about. Okay. All right. The Star Wars saga continues. I don't know why this was cut out so many times. See him before he sees you. McQueen is Tom Horn, based on a true story. Steve McQueen. I love Steve McQueen. All right. What's this? Playing poker with the presidents. The Sunday News, Detroit, Michigan, July 24th, 1977. So this is when A New Hope was released, the first Star Wars. Why they line up to see Star Wars. Page 12. Why they line up to see Star Wars. Oh yeah, here's everybody else. Long before Star Wars burst upon an unsuspecting general public and confounded the nation's movie houses, there was a huge audience lying in wait, anticipating it. The magazine James Trailer looked into the phenomenon. Wednesday afternoon matinees are usually throwaway performances. They're for senior citizens. The attraction is $1.50 or less ticket price. It's the only way some of the Social Security crowd can be lured out to the movies at all. There's rarely a large turnout, but at 12:30 Wednesday, June 25th, nearly an hour before the first showing of Star Wars, managers at about 24 theaters in America peeked out their front door and were stunned to see thousands of people standing in line. Parking lots were already overflowing, and still they came. Precious few were senior citizens. Most were youngsters about 14, and the manager wondered for a moment if maybe there was a teacher strike somewhere. But no, it was just school be damned. We're here to see Star Wars. Yeah, man. I took my kids out of school one time early to go see Avatar. I just wanted them to have like a movie experience like that where like I was so excited to see that movie, and I thought I'm just going to get them out of school early. So I took them out without telling them why. And they were like, "What are we doing?" And I took them to see Avatar. But generally I wouldn't do that. Every movie house had a chance to show Star Wars. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine if you owned a movie theater and you chose not to show that movie? That would be crazy. Then there were those thousands of movie houses that could have shown Star Wars but muffed their chance. To understand their plight takes a little understanding of how movies get exhibited. Theater owners rarely get to see a movie before having to decide whether or not to show it. Usually the movie isn't finished yet. In the case of Star Wars, the bidding started last October before there was a print to be seen. In fact, Lucas is such a perfectionist that he kept fiddling with the movie until the last second. It had to be snatched out of his hand so prints could be made in time for the grand opening. But in October, every theater in every metropolitan area of the country received a bid form from Fox. A bid form describes the movie and lists both mandatory terms and suggested terms for a contract. In the case of Star Wars, the mandatory terms were an exclusive run, which meant that just one or just a handful of theaters would get the film in any given area. In Detroit, this meant one theater. In Chicago, it meant 4. Suggested terms were a 12-week run and a 90-10 split. The run is a minimum length of time the movie would be shown exclusively, and the 90-10 split means that after all the theater expenses are paid, the theater would give Fox 90% of its profits. And that's why theaters charge so much for candy and popcorn, because they would barely get any money from the film studios. And I don't know if that's still true, but I know when I worked at the main theater back in the day, that was true. The suggested terms of the bid form are rarely accepted in total. Theater owners usually make a counteroffer, their bid, while Fox and the area theater owners are keeping mum on how the bidding went. It appears that the big differences were in how long the theater owners wanted the exclusive run to last. Well, that's interesting. Huh. And that's, but they didn't know whether it was going to be a hit. So that would be a major risk, wouldn't it? Special expanded edition of Star Wars, the making of the world's greatest space adventure movie, packed with full color photographs from the film. Oh my God. Look, it has the technical readout of 3CPO, C3PO, I say that wrong, and R2D2. Oh my. He has a fire extinguisher. There's Hans. Leia. So pretty. And stormtroopers. I don't remember what this guy was called, but he's cool. Stormtrooper. And that's Luke was dressed, pretending to be a stormtrooper, him and Hans. Chewbacca. Admiral. Isn't that what he was called? The Admiral? I think so. Oh, there he is getting squished. I think that's in the trash compactor. That's Darth Vader having a lightsaber duel with Obi-Wan Kenobi. Well, if you guys ever want to look through any of these in more depth, because I got a lot of them. Ooh, that's a good one. So scary. He's so intimidating. I was so scared of him as a kid. I think I watched it with my boys, The New Hope, at some point, and I realized it wasn't as good as I remembered it. But when you're a kid, it's awesome. The Empire Strikes Back. Oh yeah, what is this? Like a graphic? Oh, it's a graphic novel. I didn't even know they had these back. I mean, we just call it a comic book. I don't know. What's the difference? Is there a difference? Oh, this is fun. Look at that. But, my lord, there are so many uncharted settlements. It could merely be smugglers or... That is the one, and Skywalker is there. Bring in the patrol ships, Admiral, and tell General Veers to alert his troops. Oh boy, oh boy. I don't remember this. This must be my husband's. May the Force be with you, and also with you. If you're Episcopalian, like I am growing up, every time anyone said, May the Force be with you, which was a tagline from Star Wars, you'd go, and also with you. Star Wars gigantic spaceship poster inside. What? Oh boy, what is it stuck? I bet it has tape on it from being hung up. Uh-oh. Oh no. Yeah, this was probably hung up in either my husband or maybe it's from my brother's room. I don't know. Could be any. Oh, this is awesome. Okay. Sorry, guys. This might get loud, but we gotta do what we gotta do, you know. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could see why you want to hang that one up. Chewbacca looking handsome. Luke Skywalker. Obi-Wan and Hans. Where's Leia? She's not. They're going to save her, I think. Alright. Close it back up. Oh, there's Yoda. Star Wars Strikes Back. People magazine. Oh, this could be fun. A nasal spray to improve memory. You know what? That's so funny. I think they are still, I still see articles on, you know how Google pushes a lot of times garbage articles, but I've seen the nasal spray. I wonder what that's about. Don Adams can't get rid of smart. Don Adams was so good in Get Smart. Love that. Mount St. Helens. It's not over yet. Huh. This is interesting. This is from 1980. That'd be kind of interesting. Brooke Shields. That was in Blue Lagoon. I didn't see Yoda. I must have missed it. Oh well. Alright, Empire Strikes Back official monthly poster. So I guess it's this poster, just big. So, oh my goodness, look. In case one poster wasn't enough. The Dark Lord. Ooh, he's so spooky. Giant poster. Oh, yeah. The Mystery of Yoda. The Indignities of R2. I don't know what R2. Official poster monthly. Giant Yoda poster. Look how cute Yoda. No wonder Baby Yoda's so cute. 800-year-old Yoda's cute. Empire Strikes Back official poster. What is this one? A poster of this guy? Ugh. Why would you want that? Oh no. What is that? I don't even know what that is. Huh. Anybody know? It's like a spaceship with little hands. So these posters are of things not. Oh no, that's Yoda. Oh, look at Yoda. Looking so wise. Another poster. Giant Darth Vader poster. Official collector's edition. Oh my, it's all red. There he is standing upside down with Yoda. Not standing, handstand. AT-AT, that's what they're called, AT-AT. Darth. Star Wars album. Official collector's edition. Oh yeah. Oh, they're showing how it all began. Probably where he got the ideas for a lot of these things. Oh yeah, you can totally see that. I remember this movie, Forbidden Planet. Yeah. I used to watch so much sci-fi when I was a kid. There was a channel that would play sci-fi movies. My dad and I would always watch the movies, and we'd watch Star Trek. Like I saw every episode of the original Star Trek. That's kind of interesting. On guard, and they have the fencing that kind of turned into the lightsabers. Damsel in distress, of course. R2D2 and C3PO, quick getaway. Huh. Is that how it was originally spelled? Huh. Get me those tapes. This is another fine mess you've gotten us into. Yeah, they're kind of like Laurel and Hardy. The two of them. Runaway robot. Coming out of retirement. American Graffiti. If you've never seen this movie, it's a good one. It's worth watching. Star Wars Marvel Special Edition. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Are these all the same? No, they're not. Wait. This is my husband. I did not have these. There are 3 of these. So he must have thought someday they'd be collectible. Are they? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe he's smart. Maybe they're worth $1 million. Oh, look, they're old. Yeah, that's fun. I bet he read these. Alright. 1, 2, 3. Look at Leia. She looks totally different. And also, I don't think Luke ever had a 6-pack like that. When did these come out? What year are these from? What do they say on here? $1. 1977. So these came out when the original movie came out. Interesting. Oh, and then here we have the 1978 Star Wars calendar. May the Force be with you all through the year. Oh, yeah. There he is, given a death grip. This was a cool vehicle. Yeah, this was a game that they play. Look how long his saber is. It's a big saber. Two best characters. And here they are, and they got put in a trash compactor. It was very scary. This is a good scene. Star Wars, the stunning wonders, the endless dangers, the supreme thrills of the greatest space fantasy ever made. See the menacing Darth Vader, evil corrupter of the Force, work his dark powers. See Luke Skywalker and the beautiful Princess Leia running for their lives inside the Death Star. See Chewbacca, the 100-year-old Wookiee. I did not know he was 100. And the dauntless Han Solo resist the Imperial forces. See Obi-Wan Kenobi, last of the Jedi Knights, wield his incredible lightsaber in battle. See the amazing droid C-3PO. Look, they spell it out there too. I didn't know that. Wandering the wastelands of the remote planet Tatooine. Plus, Jawas, Banthas, Sand People, and the astonishing R2-D2, and more. R2-D2. I didn't know. Star Wars. Did I have it right? Imperial forces. When I said good versus evil. No, Galactic Empire. Oh, it's the Imperial forces. Maybe I have that wrong. Or they're part of the Galactic Empire. They're called the Imperial. I don't know. Just know it's good versus evil. Darth Vader, bad. Luke Skywalker, good. But later you learn Darth Vader, he's not always bad. Sometimes he's sweet and a kid. And he's adorable. Anyway, alright guys, well, that's it. That's the Star Wars lot. Thanks for checking it out.